The warning klaxon echoed through the crystalline corridors of Station Theta 9, a joint research facility floating in the neutral zone between three galactic powers. Chief Engineer Zixthar of the Valorian Collective watched his holographic display with mounting horror as critical systems began their cascade failure. "Impossible," he whispered, his crystalline fingers trembling. The translation matrix, the single most vital piece of technology enabling communication between the 17 species aboard the station, was dying. According to every diagnostic, every protocol, every failsafe built into the system over 3 centuries of Valorian engineering excellence, the device had reached catastrophic failure point. The display pulsed red. "Maintenance impossible. System degradation irreversible. Evacuate facility Zix." There had spent 40 cycles studying at the finest engineering institutes in the galaxy. He understood quantum entanglement, zero-point energy manipulation, and multidimensional field theory, but he also understood finality. When a Valorian-designed system declared something impossible, it was impossible. Their civilization had built empires on precision and certainty. "We have 18 minutes before total communication breakdown," announced Sub-Engineer Kaleth, his scales shifting to a distressed purple. "After that, we won't be able to coordinate life support between species. The methane breathers will die first, then the—" "I know the cascade," Zixthar snapped. He initiated the evacuation protocols, though he knew 18 minutes wasn't enough time for everyone to reach the escape pods. That's when the human arrived. Marcus Webb wasn't supposed to be in engineering. The human maintenance technician was scheduled for the agricultural domes on level 7. But humans, Zixthar had learned during their brief 3-month posting at the station, rarely stayed where they were supposed to. "Heard you got a problem," Marcus said, wiping grease from his hands onto his already stained coveralls. He was young for a human, barely 30 standard years, with the peculiar facial hair growth humans called a beard, and eyes that seemed perpetually amused by something invisible to other species. "The translation matrix is beyond repair," Zixthar explained with forced patience. "We are evacuating. You should let me see it. There is nothing to see. The system has declared maintenance impossible. This is a Valorian Mark 7 quantum linguistic processor. When it fails absolutely. We must—" Marcus was already climbing into the access shaft. Zixthar watched in disbelief as the human pulled himself into the cramped maintenance tunnel with alarming flexibility. Humans, he'd learned, had evolved without exoskeletons, giving them an unnerving ability to squeeze into spaces that seemed geometrically implausible. "Found it." Marcus's voice echoed from inside. "Oh yeah, she's in rough shape." "She?" Kaleth whispered, confused by the human's tendency to assign gender to inanimate objects. "The diagnostic is clear," Zixthar called up into the shaft. 17 critical systems have failed. The quantum coherence is decaying at an exponential rate. The molecular bonds in the processing core have— A loud metallic clang interrupted him. Then another. Clang. Silence. "There," Marcus called down cheerfully. "Maintained." Zixthar stared at his display. The red warnings were flickering. Then one by one they began turning amber. Then yellow. Then impossibly green. The translation matrix hummed back to life. "What did you do?" Zixthar demanded as Marcus dropped back down from the access shaft, landing with the casual grace humans brought to everything physical. "Hit it twice," Marcus said, brushing dust off his shoulders. "Right spot, right angle. Kinetic recalibration." "Kinetic recalibration? That's not a real term." "Sure it is. I just made it up." Marcus grinned. "Look, your fancy quantum whatever was stuck in a feedback loop. Happens sometimes with complex systems. They get so tangled up in their own error checking that they can't get out. You just gotta give them a little percussive encouragement to reset." "You struck a 3-century-old quantum processor," Zixthar said slowly, his voice climbing several octaves. "With your manipulator appendage, twice. Well, technically I used a spanner. But yeah, basically." Kaleth was checking the diagnostics frantically. "Chief Engineer, all systems are operating at 97% efficiency. The quantum coherence has stabilized. The molecular bonds are— I don't understand, they've somehow realigned to original specifications." Marcus shrugged. "Sometimes things just need a good whack. Old mechanics rule: if it's supposed to work but doesn't, hit it. If it's not supposed to work but does, don't touch it. That is not engineering," Zixthar protested. "That is barbarism." Is it barbarism if it works? Marcus asked, his eyebrows rising in that peculiar human expression of challenge. Zixthar opened his mouth, then closed it. He looked at his display showing green across the board. He looked at the translation matrix, purring contentedly as it processed communications between the 17 species aboard the station. He looked at Marcus, who was now examining a secondary control panel with the same casual confidence. The probability of your percussive maintenance succeeding was less than 0.001%. Zixthar finally said, "Yeah, but it was greater than 0, Marcus replied. And humans? We specialize in making impossible odds look easy." He patted the translation matrix housing affectionately. Besides, machines are machines, whether they're quantum or not. Sometimes they just need to know someone cares enough to give them a little tough love. As Marcus walked away, whistling some incomprehensible human melody, Zixthar found himself updating his personal database on human engineering philosophy. Next to the formal education requirements, the precision tools, and the theoretical frameworks that every other species considered essential, he added a new entry. Human method, percussive maintenance. Success rate improbable but verified. Theory unknown. Recommendation, do not question results. The device had said maintenance was impossible. The human had hit it twice and declared it maintained, and somehow impossibly, infuriatingly beautifully, it had worked. That, Zixthar was learning, was the most human thing of all.